We will build a new future for our village.
Remember, every one of you has the power to change the world. Never stop dreaming and never stop trying.
It's 2016 in the Indian state of Jharkhand, and indigenous communities are rising up. The Pathal Gadi movement is sweeping the region, and protests over land rights are escalating into violent clashes with police. The flashpoint is land. For decades, two specific laws, the Chota Natkor and Santal Pargana Tenancy Acts, have acted as a protective shield. They strictly prohibit the sale of indigenous tribal land to outsiders. But the state government is pushing new amendments. They want the power to lease this protected territory to corporations for commercial development. The legislature passes the amendments. Now, to become law, the bill needs a single signature from the Governor of Jharkhand, Droupadi Murmu. The political math looks simple. Murmu belongs to the Bharatiya Janata Party, or BJP. The exact same party currently controls the state legislature and the national government. The expectation is that she will follow line, sign the bill, and secure the win for her own party. Instead, Murmu meets with the protesters. She collects 192 separate memorandums from indigenous leaders detailing their objections, and then she refuses to sign. She returns the bill to the state government, forcing her own party to completely abandon the legislation. This level of defiance made it clear that Murmu was not a careerist politician concerned with party loyalty. To understand where that iron will came from, you have to look at what she survived to get there. Her story starts in Uparbeta, a remote village in the state of Odisha. She was born into a Santali family, an indigenous community where both her father and grandfather served as the traditional heads of the village council. At just 5 years old, she moved to the city of Bhubaneswar, specifically to pursue her education. She graduated university and spent years working a desk job as a clerk in the state's irrigation department. Later, she took a job teaching Hindi, math, and geography at an education center in Rayrandpur, but she made a highly unusual choice. She refused to accept her full salary for the work. From the very beginning of her professional life, she treated her labor as a community service rather than a wealth-building exercise. That mindset laid a foundation of civic duty that corporate lobbying and political pressure simply could not buy. She eventually ran for local office, winning a seat on the town council as an independent candidate. But right as her political career was gaining momentum, her life outside of work began to shatter. In 2009, her son Lakshman died. 3 years later, her second son Sipan was killed in a car crash. Her mother and brother passed away. And then, in 2014, her husband died. In a span of just 7 years, nearly her entire immediate family was gone. The compounding grief was suffocating. She was left to navigate the silence of an empty home while trying to maintain her public duties, falling into a deep depression. Searching for a lifeline, she turned to the Brahma Kumari's spiritual movement. Through intensive meditation, she slowly processed her immense grief and rebuilt her mental resilience from the ground up. The experience transformed her worldview. With her family gone, she redirected all of her remaining energy outward, viewing her political offices as a sacred obligation to her community rather than a career ladder. This explains her reaction to that tribal land bill in 2017. When a leader has already lost the people they value most and painstakingly rebuilt their own soul, the threat of losing political favor holds no power. When it came time to nominate a president in 2022, the BJP looked to the very woman who had refused to be their rubber stamp. By elevating the leader who had publicly challenged the party to protect tribal land, they gained a level of credibility that a traditional career politician couldn't provide. She traveled across the country seeking support, and the results weren't even close. She secured a clear mandate, winning over 64. She is also an active presence in national policy, specifically spearheading the Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat initiative to completely eliminate tuberculosis across India. She continues to use her office as a moral platform, notably stepping forward to condemn violence against women in the wake of national tragedies, stating that enough is enough. From the village council in Uparbeta to the presidential residence in New Delhi, Murmu's path was never cleared for her. She reached the summit of Indian politics not by conforming to the machine, but by surviving its greatest pressures and refusing to break for anyone.